Hello, good afternoon. I'm Carmen Bruno, not Marita Canina, but I'm presenting also on behalf of Marita Canina and Laura Anselmi. I am a PhD candidate at the design department of Politecnico di Milano, and I'm part of a research group called the Activity Center. Our main focus is on creativity and digital creativity, and in particular we study on how to empower and activate the different steps of the creative design process. So today I want to share with you one of our research project, which is about the creative learning experience that we designed to teach and explore design thinking process and tools, which is based on the flipped classroom methodology and also on some game mechanism with role play activities. I bet most of you know what is design thinking, which is a human-centered approach that uses the designer's methods for solving problems, and it starts from a deep analysis of the user, the people needs, but also to meet also the technological feasibility and the market viability to reach a radical innovation. So why we designed to start we decided to design this model, didactic model, because as we move forward into the 21st century, there is a need, a shared need of rethink educational model. There is a new generation of learners which are growing up with digital technologies, which are showing different learning behavior, different learning styles. And so from one side there is this need, there is this evidence, and also there is a need of teaching new skills that have been defined as 21st century skills, such as communication, collaboration, critical thinking. So these changes are also occurring in the design education. So in most of our didactic activities, we used to teach design thinking and the design thinking process and tools. So we were thinking how to innovate it in some way. How can we innovate our way of teaching? And so we started to explore and to study the blended learning and how the use of the adoption of some digital technologies to support learning. And we decided to experiment and adopt the flipped methodology, the flipped approach, which is based on the idea that the passive role of students change and become an active learner. There are three main important moments in the flipped approach. There is a before class moment that happens outside the classroom, in which the learner acquire the knowledge and acquire the content, the information, and which basically happen the transferring of knowledge between the teachers and the students by using the digital platforms, so in forms of video lecture or online digital content. So the student acquired this knowledge that then put in practice actively, collaborating with the other peers in the classroom during class. And then there is a third moment after class in which the students reflect on the activity done, and also through the digital platform the teacher can also give a better individual assessment based on the individual learning needs. So these are some guidelines that we adopted in order to build our flipped module. The first important point is to provide and design highly structured precast assignments in order to allow the students to learn new theory, new concept. Also design some well-structured activities to be run during the class times, providing means of accountability in order to ensure that the students complete the assignment, and also creating an open line of communication between the teachers and the students. So the model that we created is based, the main objective is to transfer, to learn how to manage the design thinking process, and learn the different steps of the process and the tools to be used to manage the process. And it is based on the development of project building activities, starting from a design brief. So when we tested this, the model, it was on a master course with students with different background. And the design brief was redesign and a coffee experience. So, so there are several configurations of the design thinking process, but the one we adopted was based on the adaptivity method, which divided the process in two main stages. The first one is called Explore, in which the main objective is to understand the brief, to clarify the objectives of the brief, and also to identify some design scenarios, and in order to define the design opportunities. And the second stage is the Generate. It's called Generate, and the main objective here is to create to generate ideas and to create a solution that fit properly with the challenge. So based on the process, we decide to base the modules on two workshops, one for the Explore stage and another one for the Generate stage. So these are two consequent workshops in 2 different days, and for each workshop we design some specific activities that will support the learner to design and to go through the challenge and to design a proper solution. So basically the learner has to, according to the flipped approach, the learner has to prepare for the activities before class in order to practice and run the activities during class time, and then reflect on the work done after class, and preparing in that moment also for the generate activities of the next workshop. As a line of communication digital platform, we decided to adopt a social media tool that is Slack, and through this tool we created different channels according to the 2 main workshops, and through this channel we sent the students, we delivered the students with the proper material in order to prepare for the activities, but also this tool helped support the creation of a design thinking learning community within the classroom, because the students start to debate and to discuss about the challenge itself, but also on the different material we provided and the different steps, the different activities they were running. So as I said before, we introduce also some role-playing mechanism. Indeed, we decided to we defined 3 main roles that the students, the learner has to run, yes. And these roles are based on the three main roles that has to be present in a design workshop. It usually has to be present in a design workshop. That are the facilitators, which is the person that has to manage the activities and has to lead the team to collaborate and also to achieve the final objective of the activities and on the stage. The researcher that represents the workforce that work on the content and that has to collect information but also generate ideas on the challenge. And the Slack guardians, we call it like this because it's kind of online facilitator that has to take care of the communication on the Slack platform, and that has to enable also the discussion by asking questions and also sparking a kind of discussion on the Slack. So for each one of these roles, we provided some role instruction that to tell them what the meaning of the role and also what is their activity in the three moments of the flipped approach, like before and before class, during class, and after class. And also how they have to relate with the other participants and how they have to relate with the digital platform. So we provide each role with the specific instruction according to the role, and also we provide each role with the learning material that is specific for their role. To make an example, the facilitator is, as I said, has the main role of during class of managing the activity and managing the team in order to support and to lead the team to do the activity and to reach the objective of the activity. So we provide the facilitator with the role instruction card, but also with the activity card, which explains the objective of each activities, how can they support and guide the team for in that specific activity, but also the activity tools, so the tools that they have to use in that specific activity and the instruction for the tools. So before class, the facilitator has all the material in order to prepare himself to lead the group during the class activity. So at the end, in between the two workshops, the Explore workshop and the Generate workshop, we decided also to switch the roles in order to allow all the participants to test and to try the different role and the different from different perspectives. So our support as tutors and the teacher was preparing the learning material, but also we always, during the in-class activity, we follow the students and we provide them with tips and also with insight in order to support them in overcoming some problems they have, or to teach them how to best carry out the activity. But also we support them emotionally, let's say, by creating some creative climate, so introducing ice-breaking energizer in order to keep them engaged. And also by preparing the briefing moment at the end of each workshop, on which we reflect all together on what they have learned and what are the main difficulties in each steps or in the use of some particular tool or activities. So what we have learned from this experience. This the flipped approach applied to the design thinking teaching was one benefit is that provides a complete overview to the students, a complete overview of the design thinking process before practicing it. And this usually in the traditional method it's a prerogative of the teacher, and this helps the students to be more aware about the process. But also with the role play activities, we give more responsibility to the different learner, also for their learning, but also for the learning of their peers. And the Slack platform allows us to follow the students, to keep track of the learning process, and also to give a better assessment with prompt feedback, also individually when they need it. And also it contributes to build a community around the design thinking. What can be improved? All this benefit was we observed. We didn't make like a control studies between the traditional method, teaching method, and the flipped. So this can be one of the further steps to understand effectively what are the performance, examining the student performance with two control group. But also we tested this model in small classes of like 15 students. So we basically make two groups of 8 students each. So it will be interesting to scale it up and to also adapt it with class with a wide number of students. And one of the maybe difficult part was to start and to let them understand the approach, the flipped approach. So probably also improve some engagement mechanism at the start, at the beginning, to engage more the students and to prepare them for this flipped approach. Okay, thank you.